Good morning, guys. It's August 8th. Yeah, you want to cry, but then when I put you on the camera, your camera's shy. That's how it goes. It's August 8th, 2025. In my last video, I said that I was 6 months seizure-free. Who knows what month that was? I mean, November to August. Yeah, so 9 months seizure-free, I guess. Yeah. So, and yeah, if that's wrong, I'm gonna be embarrassed later. But 9 months seizure-free. Once I make it to November, I'll be a year seizure-free. This video today, you know what it's about. If you read the title, alcoholism and epilepsy. I'm not sure why at this moment in this day I've sat down to create the video, but it's something that I knew I needed to get out, and I find it difficult to find good resources on, truth be told. Obviously, seizures and alcoholism have a very strong relationship, like alcohol withdrawal. For those who don't even have epilepsy, like seizures that just randomly happen without drinking, it's very common for people who are alcoholics to eventually have seizures when and if they decide to just stop drinking cold turkey. Same thing with benzos. But in my case, and in the case of people diagnosed with epilepsy, I've had seizures with no discernible cause. It's not because of a tumor, it's not because I'm drinking a lot and I've stopped drinking, it's not because I took benzos and stopped, all of that. However, drinking can provoke seizures in epileptics, particularly in the withdrawal phase is what I've heard. For both epileptics who are medication controlled and non-medication controlled. And that is something that I knew when I got diagnosed with epilepsy I wasn't diagnosed with it in 2023, I was diagnosed with it this year, but when I had so 2025 is when I was diagnosed. When I had my first grand mal, lost my teeth, witnessed by my entire family. When I had my first grand mal, I was at a drinking point in my life. I was 23. Sorry, I'm seeing someone out the window looks awfully familiar. I guess my cat thinks so too. Yes, so I was 23. I had finished college and I was working my first salaried job. And just really at that point, I was understanding that alcoholism is a particular concern for someone like me who has genetic predisposition on both sides of my family to alcoholism, but also because of the particular health concerns that, could be created with having uncontrolled seizures, which I did at that point, and drinking. So, after about my second or even third, just to show you how hard it was to let go of drinking, after about my third tonic-clonic seizure, and it was the first where I was able to say I had this seizure while I had a hangover. I said, look, can't drink anymore. And so I stopped drinking. Just like that. For over a year. I won't say I lost friends, but my life did change. And just because on top of me no longer drinking, Kepra makes you so tired. I was like, I can't be going out. Like, I like to go out and dance and have fun, and I was still having fun doing my thing sober. But I would just be too damn tired. I didn't want to stay out, especially when, drinking, will reduce those feelings, of I have inhibition of wanting to stay out. Anyhow, year passes, year plus passes, and let's see, yeah, I hadn't gotten drunk at all in over a year. Like, I had taste tested, sipped something, and that is all I did for over a year. Come to this Easter, so whatever the hell day that was, April something, 29? Yeah, basically my dad dies of alcoholism, which I had expected for like 20 years, and I'm 25. So I was not like in the moment shocked. I was like there's a moment of shock, as would happen for anybody finding out, not anybody, but in my particular case, I had a little bit of shock, but not of large emotional explosion of, oh my goodness, how could it happen? I was not expecting that. And I was honestly thankful, because he had been struggling and suffering with health concerns for a large part of his life due to his alcoholism. So for him to pass, he ran his course, you know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what he would probably say about it now, you know what I mean, if he were kicking. And that's kind of just what it was. Him dying, I really didn't think it bothered me. And still, I don't think that it is what bothered me. But I will step forward to say, I attended his funeral. Oh my God. I don't remember if I mentioned this on another video, but I was scared when I went to my grandfather. His dad actually just passed some months before he did. And I was scared of going to his funeral, because I'm like, of course I'm probably going to have a tonic-clonic here. Thank God I didn't, and I didn't have one at my dad's. But yes, I was scared that may happen. Just after being around all of my family in that way, I personally am not big on large family gatherings. And after, as I mentioned in the last video, this actually happened at the repast dinner following my dad's funeral. My aunt, an elderly woman, so my grandfather's sister, my great aunt, I guess you'd say, and she's an alcoholic, had a seizure like at the repast, and I talk about that in the video. It was my first time witnessing someone having a seizure. And I think that being with so much family, and oh my gosh, yeah, that dinner, everyone was just drinking so much, and it was just like kind of everyone, I think, could feel the what's it called? The irony of being in a dinner to celebrate the passing of a man who died drinking too much, Now everyone is having a lot of fun. It's, you have one life, live it. I have no say in how others live theirs. But basically, following that day, I come home and I engage in sneaky alcoholic behaviors, like drinking behind my boyfriend's back, or presenting myself as a sober person to friends and saying I don't drink, but then like coming home and drinking. And this is over the span of, let's say, 2 months, where I allow myself to start drinking, maybe even less. Probably 2 months though. So from May through June. And basically, I go from being the sober epileptic friend. I don't drink because I have epilepsy. I don't drink because I could have a seizure that could kill me. Even if I don't drink, I could have a seizure that could kill me. Then I had to swallow my pride enough because my desire for drinking was so strong that I just had to swallow my pride and say, look, it's my freaking life. Which, hey, and I know this is going to be something in there. If you are an epileptic who drinks, this is not a commentary to say epileptics should not drink by any means at all. And that's not what my therapist has said. That's not what my neurologist has said. This is strictly a story about my life and my relationship with alcohol, given my epileptic condition. So I allow myself to drink again, and it quickly goes too far. I'm drinking more than I want. I'm drinking when I don't want to. And it's just like really shocking me. Like, it moves very quickly, let's just say that. And that could have just been because it's been a while since I had drank, but for whatever reason, that's how things go. And one day I wake up in the morning and like my tongue is bitten down the side and my cheeks are kind of bitten. And I'm like, well, I kind of deserve this. Like, I drank through my, seizure control. It's so sad. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was so... That's like, it fed into the depression feelings that were leading me to drinking. This was like, yeah. So, basically, there was a feeling of loneliness when my dad passed, because, everyone's searching for someone that they can really be themselves around, right? So, I don't feel like I have that. And basically, it's the end of the story. But to make to bring it around, what happened is I realized after that day that I really should not be drinking. I don't immediately stop drinking, again, to demonstrate how much of a control alcohol has over me. I keep drinking after I'm pretty sure I had a breakthrough seizure, but I visit my neurologist. This happened 4 days ago that I saw that neurologist, and just kind of made the resolve to no longer drink. My cravings for drinking are no longer there, luckily. It's been a short amount of time, but I kind of feel a noticeable lifestyle difference because I'm not allowing myself even one drink, which I know that I can't do. And I have the benefit of the privilege of knowledge of that before I get to a point where I'm dependent. So, yeah. If you watched this, if you clicked on it because it was interesting, it sounded like it could resonate based on yourself or a loved one's story, yeah, thank you. I'm trying to just come up with some words of advice, and as you can see, I didn't script anything here. It's just kind of an honest conversation about these two conditions. Alcoholism is... insidious, whatever, all of the words that they want to say about it. Alcoholism is just a mood disorder, essentially. Whatever, it's a substance use disorder, but it's provoked by mood, or personality disorders, I think. So, yeah. I have found that once I removed that open door of letting myself drink, it's easier to do my sober hobbies like making kombucha and baking and cooking and coloring and, you know, doing other stuff, journaling, just kind of coming back to the essence of who I am, because I realized that when I'm drinking, maybe I'm removed from that a bit. But at risk of this becoming like some kind of AA testimony, and to kind of bring it back to the relevance of epilepsy, there's a lot of shame and depression that can come with epilepsy, knowing that it's chronic, you know, that it's just not gonna go away one day. And, you know, if you're someone like me who doesn't really see, like, I don't see myself getting VNS, like implant or surgery, unless, you know, medication stops working for me. And you feel like you can regulate alcohol. For many people, you can. For many people, probably most people, you can if you have epilepsy, but you may choose to abstain or you may not. For those who, you know that you're probably an alcoholic and you have epilepsy, don't feel ashamed. Like, don't feel guilty that you have the desire to drink or that you have drank, or that you're going to drink. Really don't. I mean, there's a reason that you feel the way that you do, and I think if you're able to find, you know, kind of the root of what that feeling is, and find some ways that can really fulfill what you're feeling rather than detract and avoid that feeling, that can be very helpful. But yeah, ultimately, hey, I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if this video leaves a bad taste in people's mouths, perhaps someone's mouth, to think, you know, you ought to be careful being an epileptic to not drink at all or to excess. Of course, you know what I mean? Everybody has probably felt like they're running the risk of triggering one of their epilepsy triggers, you know, caffeine, lack of sleep, anxiety, etc. You know, with alcohol, if it's something that you are very dependent on or feel a sense of a loss of control or willpower over, it can just feel like a curse in a way, you know what I mean? But I promise that there are other ways to relieve yourself of that stress and suffering you feel other than drinking. That's for one. Yes, and for two, I would say, you know, don't have a two. And that's just how it is with epilepsy. Just take this Keppra, turns off your brain. But yeah, that's all I have to say. It's funny, you couldn't come up with a two. The two fill in the blank. Life as an epileptic with, you know, strong desires for alcohol and emotional avoidance. Step two is fill in the blank. Do whatever you want. Complete your life. People are gonna be mad. Don't drink. Ooh. But yeah, really, I stopped drinking because my neurologist said straight up, like, yeah, you could stop breathing, you could XYZ, but the ball is in your court. It's your life. It's your choice. I'm like, fair enough. Fair enough. But really, she told me, think about what you could go back into. I'm very lucky to be medication controlled, and that's why I think that this video may leave a bad impression on some, because I got to a point that very many do not, where I was medication controlled and I still drank, and drink until I may have provoked another seizure. So, of course, that leads to feelings of shame, you know, there's feelings of shame that come from just being an epileptic, and then I think there's worse feelings of shame that come from alcoholism, you know. But yes, all I can say is you're not alone. You know, it's understandable to want to drink as an epileptic because you just feel like you're escaping that sadness and that shut-in kind of energy that you have to, you know, live with. Yeah. Video is becoming a bit of a road to nowhere now, but I do appreciate you watching. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, if this resonated with you, definitely thanks for watching, because like I said at the beginning, don't find a lot of resources on like epilepsy itself, the neurological condition, and alcoholism. I more so find alcohol and seizure content, which is not my concern. I've never had a seizure brought on by, you know, withdrawals. So, wait, or did I? You tell me in the comments. Is that what that was? Because my neurologist said maybe you had a seizure. I think she was just trying to calm me down, but still. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.